It started with a whisper by Peter John. My eyelids felt heavy, but seemed reluctant to close. Sleep was eluding me, and my effort to break free from consciousness was draining my body of what little strength that remained. That was why, the first time they spoke to me, I excused the experience as yet another symptom of my sleep-starved mind. As the darkness drew ever closer, I found myself focusing inwardly. With the calm of the night, they came to my bedside and whispered their quiet woes into my ears, and I could feel their warm breath as the words brushed against my face. My skin crawled with every syllable and stuttered moan that was forced into my conscious mind. I found myself craving for sleep as a form of escape, but it was a fruitless dream. With my weakened state holding me to the bed, while a constant flow of whispered doom laid siege to my defenceless ears. Relief only came with the growing light of dawn. As the first scrawny filaments of light slipped through the cracks in the curtains, the voices began to fade, until all I could hear was the sound of birdsong outside. As I look back on that first night, I find myself wishing for another just like it. I had suffered a tormenting experience, which turned out to be nothing compared to that which was to follow. The day after, I felt as if I was living in a blurred world. I felt detached from my surroundings and the distractions I usually craved. The evening seemed to arrive without warning, and the night crept in like a prowler searching for an unlocked door. Even though I was exhausted, I still found myself delaying the inevitable journey to bed. I sat alone in my living room, flicking through the channels of my television, but I couldn't find anything to engage my tired mind. The television switched off, and the room fell dark. I assumed I had accidentally pressed the remote control in my weary condition. Then I felt the weight of another person join me on my sofa. The nearest light was in the hallway, and it barely penetrated beyond the living room door. Even as I strained my eyes to peer through the darkness, I could see nothing beyond the end of my nose. I could feel the weight shifting, and I could hear the sound of shallow breaths. I found that I could not move at first through fear or lack of strength. I sat blindly, waiting for the cold touch of whatever it was that sat beside me. My strength suddenly returned, and I jumped to my feet, only to watch the door swing shut as I stepped towards it. The room was now pitch black, and the only comfort I could find was the solidness of the wall as I pressed my back against it. The floorboards creaked, as if supporting some heavy footsteps, and a gentle flow of cold air brushed against my skin. I felt goosebumps begin to form, and the hairs on my arms rose to attention. The shallow breathing became a low growl, like someone was breathing through clenched teeth. I could feel the presence close by, but I was too scared to reach out and confirm my fears. Hot breath stroked my ear, and I could feel the air as it was disturbed by movement around me. It was so close now that I braced myself for the feel of its touch. The television switched back on and flooded the room with multicolored light, and I could see that I was alone. The rest of the night passed under the shadow of apprehension, but the presence didn't return before the morning arrived. I struggled to understand the events of the night and found it difficult to excuse them as just figments of my imagination. As the day wore on, so did my apprehension of the approaching night. I tried to stay away from home by visiting various clubs and bars. I was drinking more than I was used to, and combined with my lack of sleep, my grasp on reality began to fade. I had a murky awareness that I was sat upon a bar stool in a drinking establishment only a short walk from my home. I had no idea what I was drinking by then, and if there was anyone else currently enjoying the same misty surroundings. I lacked the strength to resist when exhaustion finally took me. It was still dark when I awoke, but there was enough light for me to recognize my own bedroom. I had no memory of returning home and no intention of staying. I tried to move, but found that my limbs wouldn't respond. I couldn't even move my head, so I was stuck with a straight upward view of the ceiling. I began to panic, my mind spanning circles, but suddenly stopped turning when I heard the first of the whispers. Voices were clearer than before as they retold their stories of misfortune. I could feel their thoughts as they began to mingle with my own, and I felt the clammy touch around my ankles. Coldness slowly rose up my legs, leaving my body numb and lifeless. I lost all feeling below my waist as the chill rose up through my stomach. The voices echoed through my head, predicting a future of torment. I felt my arms go dead as the sensation reached my shoulders, and my chest became numb as the coldness invaded my neck. The voices fell silent when my ears felt the chill, and my mind succumbed to the deathly touch. As you lay awake, in a world upon the edge of dreams, listen to my shallow voice. This is my story of woe, and as I whisper the tale of my passing into your defenseless ear, can you imagine the fate that awaits you?